Hi everyone, just before we start, we did move this episode up. It was supposed to air next week, but we chose to air it this week instead. So you might find me mention a few dates that haven't actually happened yet. Sorry about that, but please enjoy. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Game Breakdown Podcast, the podcast where we break down lots of different games. Sorry, I started while you've got like a mouthful of water.
Yeah, you took me by surprise. I was like, what's happening? We're recording. Okay. Hello everyone.
We are go. So today I thought it'd be good, well we thought it'd be good if we...
I know, don't make it about yourself.
It's all about me.
Like,
I
oh
thought
my
I did
God.
everything.
Wow.
I thought it'd be a really good idea if we spoke about the PS5 and the upcoming generation, because as of this podcast going out, we should now in the UK have it all out, because it's due out on the 19th of November.
Yeah.
And this will go up on the, 21, 22, 23rd? I don't know. I can't do math. Maybe 23rd.
It's like 3
that
days.
3 days later. I can't
4
do that
days,
much math.
Yeah.
It's very complex for me.
I think, yeah, it's like, 23rd. So, yeah. So, like, the way we've planned this podcast is we're going to do it like 50-50. So we're going to do kind of like our expectations, and then within half an hour, we're going to go on to like the results of like kind of what we wanted. Did we get it? You know?
Yeah. I think it'd be good for us to sort of look at, because these consoles have already come out in America and lots of other countries. The Xbox is already here, obviously, but the PS5 specifically has not come out yet. So maybe like I'd like to comment on some things that we've seen on Twitter and social media about what's been going on with the launches of those consoles, and then any questions that we've really got about our actual console when it's in our hand, and then hopefully in the second half of the podcast we can actually answer those questions.
Yeah, and hopefully
it
will give those that unfortunately didn't get the opportunity to grab a console this time round a bit more knowledge on what we experienced with it as well, and whether they still want to buy one. You know, like, is it really worth jumping onto the 5 and an Xbox One S Series X, whatever it's called.
Okay.
so early. Yeah. So yeah, let's get started.
Let's get started. Well, before we talk about the PS5, can I talk to you about some of the Xbox things? Because Twitter has been alight with a lot of Xboxy dramas. Not quite sure. Also, side note, did you see the Xbox fridge that Xbox actually made?
Yeah, I really wanted one. I
There's
was
only,
like,
like,
I want one.
I've never owned an Xbox in my life, but I really want an Xbox fridge. Did you see they only made 2 in the world? One went to Snoop Dogg and one went to iJustine, the YouTuber, which I find very bizarre. Like, the 2 most weirdest people. There was like 2 or 3 made in the world, and it's like those are the 2 people that were chosen, and I think that is wild.
I don't know why. I feel like they would have made like probably more money on an Xbox fridge than the console. And that's not saying that it's a bad console. I just mean everyone would want that. You know what I mean? Like, I want
100%.
that. So yeah.
Did you see what it does? Like, you open it and it has the Xbox startup tune every time you open it, which I think would annoy me after opening it 10 times a day.
Yeah.
But then it all lights up green inside. Like it does look cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the console looks nice. Like, it's a very slick console. I think their packaging, I've seen obviously a lot of unboxing videos.
Yeah.
And the packaging on that is just awesome. It's all kind of really cleverly wrapped. They've just took so much time in it. But yeah, no, that would be so cool. I would just love a big PS5. I just would love something like that, you know?
Something bougie like that. That's completely unnecessary. That's me all over the place. Spending money on things I do not need.
Yes.
Like, let me remortgage so I can get a PS5 fridge.
Exactly. You got to do it though. You got to do what makes you happy. It's totally fine. It's totally
all I want
fine.
in life. So some of the things, I've seen quite a few glitches, let's say, or like launch day issues or early release issues with the Xbox. So some of the things I saw, which we were talking about just a moment ago, is there was a big issue with the CD drive. Did you see this?
Remind me. I may have seen it in passing. I was laughing for the most part about people vaping into their Xbox console.
What the hell was that about? That was the funniest thing. People vaping into their Xboxes and then trying to tweet Microsoft being like, hey, Microsoft, this isn't okay. Like, my Xbox is smoking. It's like, what the fuck?
People will do anything. Like, just play your damn Xbox and shut up, you know?
Do you know what I mean? Did you see that Xbox had to tweet? We do not recommend that you blow a vape smoke into the bottom of your Xbox because it will break it.
It's just so stupid. Like, the effort people go to for stuff like that. Like, I mean, fair enough. There's always going to be hiccups, you know? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I've been really fortunate with most consoles that I've got, and I often have got them either on launch day or just after it, you know? So It's always kind of been the first batch, and I've never had a problem. But saying that, we are getting into territory where there is a lot expected of consoles, and there's going to be hiccups and bugs and shit like that. But, like, some people just go out of their way, you know?
To do stupid things and try and create, like... But again, this is the social media machine, like, crafting the hate towards, like, Xbox or PlayStation or whatever by saying, oh, look what's happening. Like, obviously, it probably is meant to be a joke on some level. But again, some people will just see it very quickly in passing and be like, oh, shit, look at that Xbox that's, like, blowing up. Oh, dear. And then, like, that will be their impression of what's happening. Yeah. Like, people who don't live on Twitter and just saw it for 5 seconds might think that was something happening.
If you're heavily involved with, like, the gaming community on Twitter or YouTube, like, you're going to kind of get the gist that it's all just taking the piss. But, like, if you just want a console and you want the latest one and you don't really follow stuff, you're going to be like, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get it.
What is going on? Jesus.
So, it's bad. Like, I feel like it's just a bit silly. But, you know.
It is. I will say one solution that I've seen is some people like to balance a ping pong ball on the top while they're playing and it floats. Love that.
Love that. Full fan of that. It reminds me of those Malteser adverts, you know, in like
with the girl on the straw. Yeah. Yes, I do remember that.
It's like, it's brilliant. I love that.
I used to do that with Maltesers after seeing the advert. But like, you got to the point where I choke on them because you blow it and open your mouth and try and catch it and it'd be like, just the back of your throat.
I was never good at shit like that. I remember that time we were like really young and you decided to buy a massive tub of Maltesers and we were literally just seeing how many we could shove in our mouth and there was just melted chocolate like everywhere. Why did we do stupid shit?
I thought you were going to bring up the time I choked on a crumpet.
No, but that was also fun. We were like playing WoW and you just started choking and I was just looking at you like, yeah, but are we going to do this quest? Like, are you done?
We have to kill Hog or stop choking on your crumpet. That was quite emotional. I felt my whole life flash before my eyes. Yeah. Anyway, right, sorry. So, yes, I saw a lot of glitches with the Xbox when it comes to the CD tray. A lot of people couldn't get the CDs into the machine. Yeah. And there was a lot of issues where they tried Xbox One games, they tried Xbox 360 games, which are all supposed to be compatible, and obviously the new Xbox One S Super Saiyan 25x10 console. Like, they're also like, all the CDs would not fit. And then when they would go in, some people had to force it in, and they either A, broke the CD drive, or B, managed to get it working and never had a fault after a bit of force. Then people were contacting Microsoft, and apparently it was like a handful of people apparently had this issue. So when it comes to social media, you never know if that's really true, if it was like thousands or it was just like a few hundred people. But they had an issue and had to have the console replaced because the disk drive was just having some kind of an issue and seizing up and wouldn't allow discs to be put in. So that was one thing I did see, which was a bit of an ish. And there was something you said that you, because we know someone that's got one, and you said that there was an issue with the console bricking itself straight away.
So obviously I don't know this like firsthand, like I've not seen it in person to like pass too much judgment. However, one of my close friends has one, and she was about to play the new Call of Duty, but when she was launching it, it was causing the console to actually just turn off. And she was like, I don't understand, like, what is the issue with this? Like, why is it just not launching this game? And apparently it was because it was a previous gen version. And I don't know kind of the full ins and outs of that, but like, if I'm assuming maybe with some games, if you do try and launch an older gen game, it might cause issues on the new consoles until they obviously patch it, which I just thought was really peculiar considering it sells itself as a console that can play.
I was going to say, as a backwards compatible machine. Like, yeah,
it shouldn't just kind of shut off just because it's not its preferred version, you know?
Yeah.
Which I just thought was a little bit odd. But like, yeah, it's going to happen. But I didn't really understand that. But like, fortunately, I don't think there's been anything drastically bad with the launch consoles at the moment. So I'm hoping that the PlayStation 5 follows suit. It's a chunky boy, so let's hope there's no overheating issues, but it looks well ventilated as long as you don't put it in a box like everyone else was. That's
well,
just
this was the scandal. Right, so let's talk about it. So in Best Buy in America, there was a PlayStation stand and an Xbox stand, and the PlayStation overheated and displayed on the screen in the shop front window saying, your console is overheated, please unplug it and let it cool down. Now, the problem is that the picture shows you a console stand with a PS5 next to it in the open air. But if you know anything about when shops do this kind of stuff, that is not the actual console that's plugged in. The real one is in a box, a secure box, chained up underneath. Mm-hmm. And that one is just for show. Now, everyone was saying, well, the Xbox didn't have a problem being in that container. And you're like, well, that's great. But I actually don't plan on putting my PlayStation under my bed when I'm going to play it. Under the covers, wrapped up in a box, with every hole plugged in. So, okay, everyone was then saying that the PS5 could not maintain its own temperature, and the venting was shit.
Which is just a bit.
it's just a bit stupid,
silly.
Really.
I mean, exactly. I mean, I'm sure there'll be someone that will eventually put the PS5 and the Xbox in a box and see how well it works. You know?
Yeah. It's bound to happen.
They're not made to do that. Like, would you put your PC in a box? Do you know? Would you put anything in a box that produces heat and needs ventilation? You just wouldn't do it. So
no. I
don't feel like those kind of things should reflect a particular way on a console because it's just pointless. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. So it hasn't changed my mind about the consoles in any way, shape, or form because it's just a stupid situation. But yeah, there was that going around. But like, it's expected that people are going to be. I mean, console wars are still, for some reason, a thing.
A thing, yeah.
And everyone's going to be trying to one up something, and it's like you just enjoy your console and sit down. But yeah, that was funny. There's just been some ridiculous stories coming out with the release, isn't there?
A lot of them. I mean, I've never played an Xbox. That's the only reason I'm not going for an Xbox because I've always just had PlayStation, not because I'm like some fanboy. But if I'd have seen all the glitches about the Xbox and I was an Xbox person, to be honest with you, that still wouldn't stop me from going and buying an Xbox.
I think for the normal player, if you like a console for the games and the content and how it plays and it suits your needs, just because there's a slightly faulty one that can be replaced and then work fine, you're not going to completely change and go to a different one because, what would be the point? Like that's just silly. Like the only reason I removed myself from having an I've removed myself from the situation.
Removed myself from the community.
The only reason, obviously I've said in previous podcasts, the only reason I didn't go Xbox anymore was because I really enjoyed the games on PlayStation, like Last of Us and everything, and I was sold, But like, I absolutely adored my Xbox when I had one. So yeah, I just don't think people would, and you do get a lot of people that are like, I'm just gonna go for PlayStation because Xbox has really let me down, and you're just like. Okay, fair enough, but like it's not even launched, like, and you're saying you're gonna go to something else, like, what? Why?
There's the things you see online are just a bit crazy. I would love to say that all this console wars nonsense is a bunch of teenagers, but it really isn't. It's actually still people our age as well who are like have the mindset of a teenager and are still like arguing about certain things. Like, well, our console is like 10 megabits faster and like yours is trash and like this one is out. And I think, Jesus Christ, you're actually arguing over a machine that's going to like literally play a game. Like, calm down, it's just a game. Like, we love gaming, but it's just a game, calm down. Like, there's a lot of things that really do make you think about the human race.
especially us gamers. Like, we have to say us gamers, but we're not like that. But it's true.
We're not like those gamers.
We're not like those gamers.
So some of the things that we've seen about the PS5, let's be fair, is the equal opportunities. So the PS5 has not come out in the UK yet, but it has launched in America, and I think a few other places as well. So have you seen any PS5 launch day glitches or heard of any dramas surrounding the launch? Because I've heard of one very small incident where there was an issue to do with the console being bricked immediately, and there was a YouTuber who was unboxing and testing the PlayStation Live, and it happened to like a whole group of his viewers. Like, they saw what had happened, and it was something to do with the fact that there was some kind of faulty issue where the console turned on. A similar thing that happened to your friend with the Xbox. Turned it on, put the game in, the game started to run fine, and then suddenly it had an issue building the story, building the memory and building its own database, and the first build went wrong but worked. And then because it went wrong, other errors happened, and then games started crashing, and it was just a vicious cycle until eventually the whole thing bricked and couldn't turn on.
Oof.
Yeah, a bit rough. To happen
I hope
live
that
on
don't
YouTube.
happen to me. Here's me saying, like, it's only a couple of people, it's going to be fine. But if one of us gets it, then I'll be a bit like, okay, that's an odd. That's in the odds.
It's odd, but like the thing is that I always say is that regardless whether you're a Nintendo person, an Xbox person, a Sony person, or whatever, these multi-billion-million-dollar companies have sunk in all this money to build this console. I doubt they're going to release a product after 10 years of research and development and building. That sucks. You're going to have some shit ones because that's just life. You can't expect to produce like millions of something and have each one be perfect. Like, do you know what I mean? Even like when I fucking make 2 burgers, if I've got a friend come over, one's gonna suck. Like, you can't have everything be perfect, so there will be some crap ones that will need to be replaced, but because of social media, that's the only ones that are celebrated. Like, oh look, this one fucked up, everyone cancel them.
Yeah, it's true. Like, the only things we'll hear about is the bad stories. No one particularly overly saying how good they are, even though a lot of people have said like they're brilliant, and they are going to be brilliant, and it's very much the early stages. Obviously it's not even out here yet, like we've still got a few days to go, and like, yeah, I've just gone blank. There you go. That's how I feel about it. Brilliant.
Well, on that case then, do you have any questions that you're currently wondering about the PlayStation? Because obviously we're both going to get the PlayStation, so that's the best one to focus on. Is there anything that you're wondering of what it's going to be like, or anything you've seen on social media that kind of like piqued your interest? Or
I think for me, like, the main thing I'm curious about is the subscription base that it has for the PlayStation Plus players. So it's the games that you get from the last generation, and how they're going to sort of handle that, because that's probably one of the main things I'm really looking forward to, is having that library there available to me that's sort of been optimized for the 5. Not to say that it's been completely remastered, but like, they're going to run better, things like that. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping that it's something that they keep up and they don't just decide not to. But I think the thing about these consoles is it's going to be a really, really slow launch. Like, I even read an article, I can't remember who it was by, but they said, that the whole generation's not really going to kind of get started until maybe like 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line. Because it's still going to be all... I mean, I think most people are going to own 4s for a very, 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 very long time,
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people on Twitter saying the same thing, like, yep, I'll be getting a PS5, but I won't be getting it for at least 3 years. Like, and that does make sense. Like, even when the PS4 came out, the PS3, the PS2, like, that was why the PS2 had backwards compatibility for PS1, because they knew they weren't going to have a huge library of games. Like, at the end of the day, they can release a couple of titles, but that ain't going to keep you going until the rest come out. And it's the same on whatever platform that you're on. So introducing that backwards element is purely just to keep you going, because the next generation can't kick off, like, immediately, because there's still going to have to be lots of games in development, and lots of games that are like have only just started development and will not be ready within 3 weeks. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out, because every console, I mean, remember the PS3, I was so excited to get a PS3, and I remember I begged my like parents to get it before Christmas or whatever, and I can't actually remember when I got it, but I remember that I bought it was either an early birthday or early Christmas, I can't quite remember, and they took me down to the shop and went and bought one home, and I was so excited. And I only had 2 games on it, and I'd never heard of them before, never heard of them since. One was like Genji something or other. It was like some kind of like samurai-ish.
Yeah.
Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
And the other one was I can't remember if it was actually called Motocross, or if that was just that's what it was. It was like a motocross game. You were riding a motorbike in like a dirt track.
Yeah.
And it was single player only, no 2-player game, and it was graphically looked beautiful. It was just a basic racing game, and that was all I had for ages. And I remember when the PS3 released this like rubber ducky game on the PlayStation Store, which was like ducks floating in the water. I don't know if you ever played this. and it was called like Ducky 3D or Rubber Ducky. I'll have to Google it. I played that incessantly, not because it was like the best thing ever, but because there was no other games out on the console. Like, the next generation didn't kick off for ages until they started to actually release proper games. So buying it early is like the hype, because really, unless you're a Spider-Man fan or an Assassin's Creed fan, there's not really much for you.
Yeah, not specifically. Like, no. Really. I mean, I guess they've covered like a few bases. I mean, obviously Spider-Man. There's Sackboy.
Sackboy.
Which is going to be brilliant for the young'uns. Which
will be very good. I'm actually really excited for Sackboy because I think we're missing a good old platformer.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I've watched some playthroughs and there's some interesting, you know, everyone seems to really have fun with it.
Yeah,
it's very colourful. There's a lot of good music, good levels. You know, like I've seen a lot of people play it and just enjoy it. It's just a carefree game, you know, that you can just play and relax to and enjoy.
I'll be excited when actually we can talk about Sackboy on the podcast. I feel like that'll be a good first game to review. So maybe that could be one of our first ones to pick up and talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That'd be sweet, yeah.
That'd be sweet, yeah. Love
that'd
it.
Sweet.
Love Sackboy. What else is there? Coming
Shall I get up like a full list of PS5 launch games?
I think that just goes to show, though. For me, like, this launch, there's not been anything that I've said, you know, like, I need that game day one. Like, I think me and possibly you and a lot of people have actually just bought the consoles and not really thought about the game. And I think that's strongly dependent on the fact that there is that backlog of the PlayStation Plus games. You can play your PS4 games on it. You can even use your PS4 controller.
Yeah.
For PS4 games, not PS5 games. But you don't feel like you're missing out, and it's like it's nice because it's not one of those things where you buy something and then you've got to buy everything else with it, you know, which is obviously quite nice. Like the Xbox has that going for it as well, obviously, you know. You never feel like you've got to spend even more money. And I'm getting rid of all my PlayStation 4s now. I don't feel like I need them, which is a really good feeling.
Yeah.
Because it could have been very different, you know. It could have been a situation of, you know, the 5's going to come out. You'll get, like last gen, you'll get, like, a few games and then that'll be it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they've really kind of taken care of that situation that people will have stuff to play.
Exactly. I completely agree. I've brought up a little list of PS5 launch games. Now, the thing is, these games are either going to be released at launch, so either they're out now or will be out within the next couple of days, or they'll be released within 6 months of the console launch. So they're calling them a launch title, but it's not necessarily at launch. It's just, you know, in the launch window. So some of them are looking good. So we've got Spider-Man Miles Morales, which we've heard so much about, and that has been plugged
Looks
on.
Fantastic.
Like, it does look really good, and I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Love Spider-Man as a kid, but most importantly, ever since Spider-Man 2 on the PS2, which is still one of the best games known to man. And I really think the Spider-Man series has picked itself up recently. So that would be a cool one on PS5 graphics. It looks really good. Demon's Souls, the remake. Now, I've never played Demon's Souls. Have you been a Demon's Souls gal?
I've played Dark Souls, which is essentially Demon's Souls kind of like friend.
Okay. Long lost sister.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy it. Like, I've never finished one. I've always kind of just, I don't know, I've never been driven enough to finish it. But like, if you like a challenge, like they're amazing looking games. They play
they're like
really
notoriously hard, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. It's literally just a game that you just try it and get to the end of, you know, like, and it gradually gets harder and you've just got to kind of keep chipping away at it. They are beautiful games, and the trailer for that looked amazing, so I will definitely pick it up. I don't think it's the kind of game that I want to spend nearing £70 on. I think that's kind of the main choice for me, was like, there's no game that I feel like I want to spend £70 on yet. I'm probably just going to wait, and launch games go down in price so quickly. Yeah, I'd rather just stick to what I know and then get them, you know.
Cool. I never played Demon's Souls on the first playthrough, but I've always seen footage of it and stuff, and it does look like my kind of game. So this might be a chance for me to actually pick up the remake and be like, you know what, let's give this series a crack. So I'm into that. Godfall. Now, I have heard some talk about Godfall. I'm not entirely sure what Godfall will bring. As far as I know, it's almost like a Destiny kind of game. Am I in the right vibe there?
I think so. From what I've seen, I'm like you in this. I haven't fully researched that game because though it looked gorgeous and it looked fun, it's not something that I would buy, you know, so I didn't kind of really go into it, but it does look good. Like, it looks fun.
It seems like a mix between like Fortnite and Anthem and Apex and all those kind of games, but with a little bit more of an RPG related story. Yeah, that's why I compare it to Destiny.
Yeah, it's definitely like an RPG sort of. Is it like hack and slash style? Like, kind
of, but either way, situation. It has loot boxes, so that just tells you what we need to know.
Oh no!
Exactly. So we'll be picking that one up. Bugsnax. BUGSNAX.
That's going to be a free game. That's going to be a free game, that one.
Interesting.
I'm really looking forward to Bugsnax. It's this silly game.
I saw some footage and it did look like stupid fun. I was like, I kind of want to play this. Like, it looks ridiculous, but I'm here for it.
I think it was by the same people that made Octodad, which was a fun game.
Oh, I loved Octodad. That was fucking stupid.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. It's like just this colourful, kind of cheerful game again, I guess.
Yeah. Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
I think everyone's going to grab Sackboy.
Definitely. We were all the stuff that we know about Sackboy aside. Me and you were like huge Little Big Planet fans.
Big
when
time.
It came out, big time.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited to see how they're going to brand the character of Sackboy and give him his own little adventure that's not necessarily related to the Little Big Planet like creative space, where it's more of a little like.
Yes, I'll have to see.
We'll have to wait and see when we talk about that one.
Yes.
Astro's Playroom, that will become pre-installed. So we have seen Astro before when the PS4 launched, and there was the Astro. I think it was called Astro Playroom as well. Was it just called Playroom?
I think it was
the PS4.
Playroom.
So something very similar. Again, just the chance to sort of play with the DualSense controller and all its new features and little mini games and stuff.
That's sort of what it does, isn't it? It just kind of settles you into like all the different functionality.
It's like a tutorial.
Of the console. It is though, isn't it? I guess. Like, because obviously the controller, the DualSense is like, it's a beautiful controller.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the white because I just feel like it's gonna get dirty.
Oh really?
And like, and there's ingrained on the control is like little embossed like X's, squares, triangles. It's gonna get dirty, you know, like over time little dirt's gonna like sit in there, so I would have liked a different colour at least to choose from, but
well, it is just launched. I have a feeling that, I mean, I look at the PS4 controllers out now, you can get any colour you want and any kind of customization. I mean, did you hear there was what was the website called? It was called PlateStation. And Sony sent out a cease and desist because they were creating customized
they're getting ready
facial
for
plates
because they know people are gonna buy, like I am, if they bring out a PS1 version, because I always wanted the PS1 PS4.
Yes, me too. Oh my
god, that's like over $1,000. I'm like, mate, it's over $1,000. So I would definitely be getting like a grey one if I can.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't think it'll be very long before they release like a black PlayStation 5 where the middle is maybe white and the XS is black and the fascia is black, or even just separate. I reckon they'll want to release their own fascia plates and then have like sponsorship content from other games, so like licenses. So how long before like God of War have a license to produce fascia plates and stuff and really rake in the money, like, so I don't think it'll be long before any of that comes out.
Well, they're gonna have to start, they'll start bringing out limited edition consoles, won't they, of different games. Long, so it won't be long.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now I do really enjoy the Assassin's Creed franchise. It has for me got a bit like tedious, like never ending. I didn't play Odyssey, but I did play. The name's gone out of my head now.
It's the Egyptian one before.
The Egyptian one. What is that called?
I always forget that one.
Origins.
Origins. Yeah.
That I did really. I haven't finished it because I don't feel like I do finish Assassin's Creed games, but I feel like it's a massive game. I'm like you. I'm a bit on the fence with Assassin's Creed. Did used to really, really love them. Everyone was a bit iffy with Syndicate. I really enjoyed it, but I think it's because it's set in London and I was a bit like, this is a nice change of scenery. Really enjoyed Black Flag with the ship sailing. Black Flag.
That was really, really good. Then I didn't get Origins, I got Odyssey, and I was like, this is gorgeous, but my god, it's huge. Like, they suddenly went from kind of a manageable but reasonably sized game to just this massive world.
They've become too big, I think.
And it's too big for me.
Yeah.
It's just too big for me. Valhalla looks good. I will get that eventually. I think I can't not, because as much as I moan about games being too big, I do get excited about the thought of like an open world game, because it's like one of those weird things where it's like I've got all this time to, all this stuff to do. Do you know what I mean? Like it's always going to be there for me, but then I just never play it.
And also, there's not like loads out, so like they'll be like, well, I'll get Assassin's Creed because like.
And who doesn't want to be a fucking Viking? Like.
I think they're taking it in really cool directions. I feel like when I played Origins and realizing how they really did change the entirety of the game to fit such an intricate, cool, like unusual story, you thought this is where they need to take it. Because I felt like even though Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, all the Ezio collection were fantastic, they were all very samey. It was like one long game, but then now they're mixing up the formula. I mean, even Syndicate mixed it up by like, bringing you into the future a little bit more. I liked the idea of Syndicate being in England, obviously being Brit. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get to run around my own country. This would be so jokes, blah, blah, blah. But it just didn't really hit the nail on the head for me. One thing that, I don't know why, but it was a bit weird. They changed all of your targets who you murdered in Syndicate were not real people. Now, in all of the other Assassin's Creed games, they have been based on fact. But they weren't real in Syndicate because people who were related to the people you'd be killing were still living and they didn't want to offend anybody. So they took all of the real, like, but it's history at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? I was a bit like, okay.
It's history and it's a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fine. If I was related to someone, I'd be like, yeah, you fucking do it.
Yeah,
Get
kill my uncle in that game.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Kill my great uncle, yes. Okay, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, one day after launch. So it should be coming out on the 20th, that would be. So, not really a massive COD fan myself. You? I know you play a bit more than I am.
Do you know, I'm going to have a situation here. So recently I've really kind of warmed up to first person shooters. And no, but do you know what? Like, I don't know what it is about them. I won't choose to only play them, but I do have times where I just want to fucking go and just kill loads of pop some heads in loads of different kind of like levels and upgrade my shit and like just have a good like it's just something you can just kind of let go on, you know what I mean? And it just keeps on giving because like the community is so large, like you're never going to be in a game that's dead. So I am really excited for that. Actually, it looks very gritty and very real, and the zombies on it, I cannot wait to play. Like, I'm a massive zombies girl for that.
I've seen, did you see they put the I saw on Instagram the other day, they put the meme, that meme of the African guys with the coffin on their shoulders and they're dancing as they put that in, and I saw someone like tweet it and like on the gram of like the zombies all carrying a coffin, like walking in the middle. I will say I'm not a huge COD player, but this could be like with limited games about, this could be where I hop on the franchise and think like, hey, go for it. Let's just see what it's got. I'm not competitive though. I'm not good.
No one is though. Like, the thing about those games I find is you've got to play them consistently. So like if I've been sat playing COD for like 2 weeks, I'll naturally be quite good because you've put the effort, like you've practiced and like
you trained up.
You get like a proper feel for it, and then if you have some time away from it and you go back, you will get annihilated, you know. And you're playing against people that do play constantly, like because they want to level all their guns up and things like that. So like you are at a bit of a disadvantage. But I like that. I don't always like being the same, not being able to kind of make myself better. You know what I mean? Like I like having the opportunity to have people that are better than me and then I can grow to be better than them, sort of thing. I think you'd really enjoy it. I think give it a chance. Like if you was to give it a chance, I think you'd get really into it. You'd be really pissed off, but after a while you'd be like, you'd enjoy it. Especially zombies. Zombies is always good. It's never
zombies is right up my street, as we very well know. I don't think we've had a podcast yet where I haven't said the words Resident Evil, which probably people are gonna be fucking sick of by the time like we're through with
And the thing is though, like when I play zombies, I do the Easter eggs, which is all the different puzzles. You have to go around to do all the different puzzles, and it's on paper like you should really enjoy it. Apart from the fact that it's first person, you know. And like there's some techniques, like you have to do like train them, like create a massive train of zombies, and you'll have like thousands and thousands, and there'll just be one that's looking after like millions of them, and then you can create little like crawlers. I'm just getting really into it right now, but like it's actually really good. It's fun. Like it is, like COD is actually, it gets a lot of stick, but at the end of the day, like it's a fucking brilliant first person shooter with normally quite a good campaign. It has zombies, loads of different maps, always gets updated, always, do you know what I mean, until the next one comes out. Like, they do keep on top of it. It's never kind of just been like, a bit like with Overwatch, it was like, it came out, people enjoyed it, then they just stopped caring, you know?
Yeah.
Like, COD always keeps going, so I think you'd like it. I
think
spoke
I'll
about
hop on
COD a lot.
You
I should
did.
stop.
You're quite passionate. I didn't know this existed within
Neither,
you.
yeah, let's move on.
Right. Also coming out then, right, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
Did you like Devil May Cry? I feel like
I do like Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
I haven't followed the series completely. I played the first one, played the second one, played the third one, and then kind of like fell off a little bit. But I do like the idea of like going back and finishing. But the thing is with me, I can't now just play 5. I'll have to go and find 4. Like, my brain works in order. I have to do things in order. So if I go back to the series, I'll have to be picking up the PS5 version a little bit later. But Devil May Cry 5, I've seen some footage of it. It does look fucking good. It does look really, really good. And yeah, one that I'd probably pick up, to be honest with you. One that I won't pick up, Watch Dogs Legion.
See, I'm a bit hit and miss with that. I never played the first one. I think I played a bit of it and I didn't get hooked to it. And then I had nothing else to play and I got the second one and I really enjoyed the second one because you could have little drones that flew about. There was a lot more of a stealth aspect. I mean, I can't really say there wasn't in the first one because I never finished it, but like there just something was really fun about it and you could change your clothes and like I'm a massive customization fan, so I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the fact that it was set in San Francisco. Like, I've always wanted to go to San Francisco, so I went there and I went to Alcatraz and I was running around Alcatraz and I was like, I'm really enjoying this.
It's like a holiday for you.
Yeah. So I was just like, this is really cool. So I really enjoyed it. I'm on the fence with number 3. I feel like I want to play it because I want to see what they've done with London because it's set in a futuristic London that's meant to be almost...
You're like convincing me.
I'm convincing you.
You are.
It's set, yeah. So it's basically set in, obviously, London town, and it looks amazing. I just wasn't a big fan of the fact that you had so many characters to play as. But then I might end up enjoying that. You know, they all have different strengths. It's a bit more fun. It's a bit more crazy. Whereas the second game was a bit, I don't want to say serious, but it was a bit more of a serious tone. So I think I'll get it eventually.
You think you will? The look of it was look of the old. I mean, do you remember the whole Watch Dogs scandal when they like released their footage when they released the game and it looked like trash, and then they put code in the game in the PC version to actually lower the quality to bring it in line with the console versions, because there was like that whole thing, and then someone found the code to unlock the fully rendered graphics, and it like didn't have any effect.
I love it when
gameplay.
people just. I love these hackers like, that find this code and
expose
they mod the
everybody.
fuck out of it. Yeah, it's like when San Andreas came out and it had the fucking hot coffee.
Hot
scenes.
coffee.
And like they thought they'd got rid of it, and then they hadn't. And like someone basically did some shit with the code. You very clever people that do shit with code, like made that. And I was like, yes.
I think a lot of gaming industries underestimate the intelligence, let's say, of their fan base.
Oh, 100%.
Because Rockstar literally put in a line of code that just blocked that scene. And then all it took was someone with a bit of knowledge to look at it and go, well, let's see if I just delete that line of code. Oh, there's the sex game.
What about if I set this to do this instead of that? And it's like this whole new thing happens. It's so clever. But it just goes to show at the end of the day, it might be a big game, but someone who knows their shit can read through that code and can figure out what the fuck you've done, you know? And like that's why nothing's safe. Like, do you know what I mean? Like shit like that ain't safe.
There is like so many videos that I watch that there's like Guru Larry has like a series. Now he's like a YouTuber, but also he used to be on TV and stuff. Like I've watched him for quite a long time. He's got a whole series where he has like exposing videos of like where companies have used like cracks for games they found online because they can't bother to patch their own games or they can't do certain things. Like it does make me laugh when things like that happen, but
it's clever.
Very funny. Dirt 5, which is another, you know, obviously the 5th installment of the Dirt games, which is just a racing game, really. There's not really too much to say about it. It's a racing game, lots of different environments, lots of kind of like wacky environments. Does look quite cool. I'm not a huge fan of racing games, but it's always good to have one. I do like a good racing game, but I never stack them up. I'm not one to have like, back in the day I would never have like, right, there's Gran Turismo, there's like GT, there's fucking Driver, I wouldn't have like everyone going, But
Yeah.
it's good to have one. It's always
Yeah.
fun, isn't it?
I'm partial to a racer. I used to play Forza a lot when I had my Xbox. I thought
Oh,
Forza
yeah.
was awesome.
Forza was
or
good.
Forza. Can't
Forza.
Yeah, you have to pronounce it a certain way.
Forza.
Forza. So yeah, that is beautiful. Love it. Dirt it's all right, but I don't think it's kind of on par with like Forza and Gran Turismo, because Gran Turismo looks pretty good. Like some of the footage I've seen, it looks incredible.
Yeah, it does. Speaking of that, side note, did you ever play, you must have played it around my house, did you ever play a game on PS2 called Rumble Racing?
Right. I don't know if this is a different game. Do you hit each other with bats? Gonna say no then?
No. It's a bit like a real life
have a
Mario Kart.
Let's
So
have a look.
it's real cars, it's not a cartoon, it's like it's made to look realistic, real cars, real weaponry, basically Mario Kart with real cars and not cute characters. It was one of the most fun games I ever played, and they never really had anything on the market like that for such a long time. And then on PS3, I believe it was 3, I don't think it was 4, they had a game called Blur, which was a similar idea, but it just wasn't executed as well. And that is what I would really love for PS5 to give me. I want a Mario Kart without Mario Kart. Like, I want basically, I want a remaster of Rumble Racing. If anyone can make that happen, make that happen.
I reckon it will, because I used to, do you know what, I used to be obsessed with Wipeout back when it was like on
I
the
used to love
PS1.
Wipeout.
And then they bought Wipeout randomly, and I was like, oh, I never bought it, which I probably would have absolutely loved it. But yeah, so.
But you appreciated it from
I appreciated it for what it was, you know. I was like,
it.
yeah, that's a banging game. Yeah, I appreciate that. I just didn't buy it.
Coming to the end of the list now, there's only a few left. So Fortnite, obviously Fortnite. I'm not a fan of Fortnite. I haven't really played Fortnite.
I don't vibe with Fortnite.
Don't vibe with Fortnite. Again, nothing against Fortnite. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But hey ho, good to know that it's coming to PS5 at launch for those fans. Observer System Redo is French. Redux.
Redux? I feel
don't
like
even know
I've
what that
seen
is.
that. Is it what's the image? Is it a guy with a
It's literally a bullet
cyborgy-
point that says Observer System Redux.
that
Let me
doesn't
Google
help anyone.
it. Observer System Redux. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it is
So-
a guy with a cybernetic eye. Next gen reveal. System Redux.
So I've seen that on the Switch, and I have been wanting to buy it, but I've been waiting for it to go on sale, even though I feel like it's probably worth its money.
Is this the game that we saw during State of Play? And it was, I think it might be, and it was like set in like a technical future.
In this,
Psychological horror video game.
you play, as far as I know, you play as like an AI, I think, and you control like CCTV, and you can watch what's going on the ship. And I
Oh.
think it gets like,
Almost
I
like a
think it
Deus
gets, like,
Ex.
yeah, it gets like attacked in this ship, and you have to watch it as the AI, and it just looks like a really interesting like take on a game, really, because you never really are put in that position where you've kind of got to just watch shit go down and you're like still in control as like AI. I don't know. It looks really interesting. I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the kind of thought process behind it.
No problem. We'll go with that then. The next one, The Pathless, an action-adventure video game developed by Giant Squid and published by Annapurna Interactive. I'm going to have a go at pronouncing that. Looks interesting. It's like a puzzle game. Interesting open-world puzzle game. Okay, interesting. Again, never really heard of it. Haven't really seen any footage of it. Maybe I should have looked around a little bit more for that. NBA 2K21. I'm assuming they won't bring that out until 21, so that could be in this later on down the line of being released. NBAs are all kind of decent games. It's a little bit like FIFA we spoke about before at some point, or maybe we did actually publish that, how we discussed that FIFA's the biggest scam on that's ever existed because it's the same game that's released every year.
I don't
Should we
think
revisit
we
that?
did. I don't think we However, I've got like slightly different opinions when it comes to NBA. I've played like a few or like limited time releases and stuff of it, you know, when they release it for like a weekend or something.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed it. I feel like the story like the main sort of story in those games are really good and really interesting. I'm just very, very bad at basketball games, like horrifically bad, but they always look really good and the character customization is really good. And like I think they're pretty decent, to be fair. I do think they're slightly expensive, but any sports game ends up being quite expensive.
Yeah, but any sports game again is like a giant rip-off because they are all the same.
They often have a lot of like
don't at me
microtransactions and stuff, you know, that I don't support that kind of bullshit.
Can't even cope. Maneater. Now this one, I've heard a little bit about this one. This seems interesting. This is like
shark.
Yeah, like playing as a shark, like eating people. Seems like a really weird concept, but I'm completely here for it. Like, it's time that we take revenge on the human race. So I'm completely experience the ultimate power fantasy as the apex predator of the seas, a giant shark. Terrorize the coastal waterways, tear swimmers and divers limb from limb, and give the humans a reason to fear you. Roleplay and customize your shark with a variety of stat-driven systems. This seems really cool. Evolve different parts of your body to improve how they function, or pump up the ferocity to enter brief feeding frenzies. Now, this sounds like stupid fun, which is something we were talking about last week. What we're missing, stupid fun.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the kind of game like you'd probably play with your mates, and then
like twice.
Yeah, and like then the novelty wears off. Like you're not gonna wake up really early and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a proper gaming morning. Let's play Maneater."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With your cup of tea, like just fucking as a shark. Like I don't think that's kind of.
It has like big destroy all humans energy.
Oh well. Also, apologise if anyone does wake up at 8 a.m. to play shark
and want to play Maneater.
You do you, boo. Fully support it.
Oh my god. Right, there's 4 games left. Borderlands 3. I've never played the other Borderlands games because they're first-person shooters, but they always look... Oh, do you? Okay. Yeah. Will you be buying this?
Yeah, if you do.
Right.
Because it's better play... No, actually, it's really fun by yourself. Like, the humour, the art style, there's just something about it. It's kind of... it's just good. So, but it is fun to play with other people, and you can play the story, like... 100% together, you know. There's no kind of like, oh, I've already done that quest or I've already done this. Like it all kind of syncs really well. So I would be down for playing that if you got it.
Oh, okay. Well, if you get it, I'll get it then.
Let's get you into some first person shooters.
Get me into some
Let's
FPS.
Go. Yeah.
Let's do it. One that I will be buying, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Ooh. Because I bloody love Mortal Kombat.
You do.
Very excited for that one. It does look very good. I love all the stupid like costumes. I love all the stupid drama and storylines in the games. I'm here for it all. Here for it. Toasty. Okay. Sorry, that was so stupid. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you know exactly what I just did. Right. Overcooked. All you can eat.
Brilliant. Well, I've played Overcooked 1. And that was brilliant.
It's a sequel. There's a part 1. Overcooked 2, all the additional wait, is it called Overcooked 2? No, it's not. So how? Okay, I thought I read out Overcooked 2, and then was like, there's a sequel. Like, this game looks so bizarre. Audition.
Do you remember
cooperative cooking chaos across increasingly perilous and obscure kitchens? What the fuck is this?
It's like Diner
It's like
Dash.
Cooking Mama, but like, oh, we used to love Diner Dash.
Yeah, it's kind of like Diner Dash, but you're not a waitress. You do the cooking, and you've got to get to your little sections and stuff. It's so good. Like, it's just a fucking brilliant game.
This seems like Fall Guys meets Cooking Mama. Am I in the right vein?
Yeah.
Did you ever play Cooking Mama on DS?
Yeah. Do you remember that there was like some like scandal that came out with Cooking Mama, and about apparently it was like selling your data online for money or something.
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooking Mama, I trusted you.
Yeah.
I trusted you.
Cheeky bitch.
The last one in this list, Planet Coaster, which basically seems like a really upgraded version of Roller Coaster Tycoon.
But is it theme park? Do you know what I mean?
Like,
is it as good as theme park?
It's not going to be as good as theme park as Roller Coaster Tycoon. It looks cool. There's a few like images for you to see. Sorry everyone, you can't see these, but just Google it.
I'm partial. Just Google it, bitch.
Just Google it.
I'm actually partial to like them kind of simulation games, like Theme Hospital. Loved it.
Yeah, me too.
Theme Park, loved it. Zoo Tycoon, loved it.
Oh
but
God,
that was
Zoo
actually
Tycoon.
yeah. Well, I thought it was an Xbox exclusive. It might have been on PC as well. Probably on PC as well. But
a lot of the Tycoon games were made years ago, and they were remade for consoles now. But they're like quite old, like Theme Hospital and stuff. They've released that hundreds of times.
They've got 2 Point Hospital now, which apparently is like a really good predecessor. But I got Theme Hospital, my little handheld emulator, so I'm good.
You're all good. You're sorted.
I'm sorted.
That is the end of the list of games that will be coming to the PS5 either at launch day or in what they're calling the launch window, which is up to 6 months after the console's actual release.
There's something for everyone there, though, isn't there? You've got racing, you've got...
It's quite a good range, isn't there?
Yeah, you've got, like, psychological thrillers, you've got just happy games. There's definitely something for everyone.
Yeah, I kind of take back when I said there's not much there for you unless you're a fan of Spider-Man or, like, you know, Assassin's Creed. But what I guess I'm trying to say is that if you're a big fan of lots of different big franchises, then there's not loads and loads there. There's obviously Spider-Man is a proven franchise. Demon's Souls is a proven franchise. Assassin's Creed and COD and Mortal Kombat. And I guess you can include Sackboy in that too because it is part of the whole Little Big Planet series and Fortnite. So there's quite a few, and Borderlands. So there is quite a few games there that are big staples. I mean, even Devil May Cry, Watch Dogs. There's a lot of new stuff, which is quite cool, like Panic Coaster. I mean, Overcooked for me is new. Obviously, you're like #1 fan. Maneater, The Pathless, Observer System Redo, Bugsnax, Godfall. There's like a good mix of new games and of like stapled franchises that have like, you know, their foot way in the door. So a good mix. So it'll be quite fun to see how these games play out. And there is Spider-Man Remastered and Ghost of Tsushima will receive an upgrade on day one. So you can play let's say the old Spider-Man, the one that came out on PS4, that will be receiving a day one upgrade for you to be able to play it at higher fidelity on the PS5 console, as well as Ghost of Tsushima, which already looks beautiful. So if they're going to step that up to the PS5, that's going to look insane. It
is a very good looking game. I think its true beauty will come out in the 5, hopefully. Because I enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima. I felt like it was a bit overhyped, in my opinion. It was like, yeah, it's pretty, it's fun to be a samurai, but on the surface, it's a generic fetch, run around situation, you know? Like, that sounds really bad, but like, for me, it just didn't feel like it did anything amazingly different, apart from look quite nice.
Oh, I tell you what, here is, I mean, we won't go through each game because we're coming like low on time, but there is a list here of these will be in the extended launch window. So this is up to 12 months, so a year after the console has been has come out. So Ratchet and Clank, which we did see footage of in State of Play, looked really cool. Was into that. FIFA 20, won't be buying FIFA. Biggest scam that's ever been invented. Every game is the same. That's my opinion. Don't at me. Madden is coming. Destruction All Stars. Let me just very quickly see what that is. Oh, that's that game they showed on the UI release.
Yeah.
That
was meant to come out, I think, as a earlier launch window, shall we say, and then it got pushed back.
It looks like a really interesting game. I don't quite know what it was. Even though I watched it play, I still wasn't quite sure what I was looking at. It looks a little bit like that like really rough roller skating game that's like a real sport where like you throw people into other people and fucking just like rollerball or whatever it's called. Very bizarre. Outstriders. Not sure what that is. Hitman 3, good again, a good franchise. Destiny, another Destiny, so Beyond Light, so again a carry on. Far Cry 6, another big franchise. Immortals, Phoenix, spelt with an F, Rising. Phoenix Rising, not quite sure. That seems more like almost like a Shadow of the Colossus type game. Shall I tell you what? It seems like a mix between Legend of Zelda, but with wings. Interesting. Sorry, great description. Scarlet Nexus, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Oddworld Soulstorm, Oddworld of course being another big franchise. Stray, Deathloop. We saw a bit of Deathloop game.
Fucking get in Stray. Stray, where you play as a cat. I'm ready.
Oh, was that the one? I was just about to ask you, what was the game called you play as a cat? I'm really intrigued to see what that is.
Yeah, I can't wait for Stray. It. Yeah.
Okay, Stray will be the one. Deathloop. We saw a bit of footage of Deathloop, and that looked that was kind of like, what was that first person? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was like a first person, kind of a bit crazy. I remember the art style being very orange, but very like good. So
very arty.
Very arty, wacky, kind of fun looking game. To be fair,
yeah. Ghostwire Tokyo, Horizon Forbidden West. Oh, do you know anything about Ghostwire Tokyo?
I've just seen footage. I want it, but it's very outside the box. So I don't know how well that's going to fit with like the Western market. But I do think people are very open to it now and like want more of that kind of thing. So it's I'm glad it's coming over. Yeah.
Interesting. Horizon Forbidden West.
Horizon Zero Dawn again is like a big franchise now. I mean, one game, but like there's comics. Everyone loves Aloy. Like it blew up, didn't it? So
yeah. So that would no doubt be another success. Ride 4, which again just seems it's like basically another racing game, but more with motorbikes rather than cars. And GTA 5, which of course I'm sure a bunch of people will be happy to get.
Can't say I'm shocked. I used to love GTA Online. I used to play it a lot.
Yeah, same.
I used to play the racing on it. When it was Christmas, I used to like buy my little Christmas outfits.
Yes, and it would snow.
Yeah. I fully respect GTA 5. I know people are like, for fuck's sake, it's back, but people love that game. I've thoroughly enjoyed that game. It is something you can play over and over again.
Yeah.
It's going to keep going until we get another GTA or whatever they bring out next, you know?
Exactly. It's going to be there until GTA 6 comes out, just like GTA 3 was there until Vice City came out, and just like Vice City was there until San Andreas comes out. Like, they never really let one go until the other takes its hand. Like, there's never a time when people are not playing a GTA of some kind. So,
yeah. And
whatever.
I feel like Rockstar's really kind of earned its place where it can do that, you know? Like, they don't have to bring out a game every year or every half a year or 2 years, like, because you know that when they bring a game out, everyone's gonna lose their shit because it's always fucking they just get better and better, you know? Like, I never feel like I've took a step back. So.
No, it's like the Shane Dawson approach. Just stop uploading and then upload once a year and everyone will fall in love with you until you have a scandal.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know what? We've spoke about so much in this episode. This could probably be a separate episode by itself. So maybe we can release this one, and then next week we can have a full episode of us discussing the PlayStation 5 when it's finally in our hands. How about that?
Sounds good.
Sounds better. So we'll do it that way?
Yep.
Okay then. So everyone, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Just again, we do have social media. We have Twitter at TG Breakdown, and we do have an Instagram at TG Breakdown Podcast if you want to keep up to date with all of our goings on. And if you want to join a little conversation, which would be really cool, thank you. And yeah, so we'll release this one, and then next week we'll give you a full episode of us actually talking about a PlayStation once it's finally in our hands. Yay. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.